Welcome to the Department of Collegiate and Technical Education. Today is the fifth session of the Unit 1, Simple Stresses and Strains. Today we are going to solving the problems on the hollow bars and the problems on the elastic constants. Before going to the problems on the elastic constants, we should know the relation between various elastic constants, that is relation between Young's modulus and shear modulus, relation between Young's modulus and bulk modulus, and relation between all the three elastic constants, that is E, C and K. So in the higher classes you are going to deriving all these relations in detail, and here you have to just remember the relations between the various elastic constants. So we will write the relation between various elastic constants. Here E is the Young's modulus, C is the shear modulus, K is the bulk modulus. So the first equation which gives the relation between Young's modulus and the shear modulus is C equal to M into E by 2 into M plus 1, or E equal to 2 into C into 1 plus 1 by M, or you can write E equal to 2C into 1 plus mu, because 1 by M can be replaced by mu. The second equation that gives the relation between Young's modulus and the bulk modulus is, that is K is equal to ME divided by 3 into M minus 2, or E equal to 3 into K into 1 minus 2 by M, or E is equal to 3K into 1 minus 2 mu. And the third equation which gives the relation between all the three elastic constants, that those are Young's modulus E, shear modulus C and bulk modulus K. So therefore E equal to 9kc by 3k plus c. So now we'll start the problems. So the first problem of today's session is the safe stress for a hollow steel column which carries an axial load of 2.1 into 10 raised to 3 kilonewton is 125 meganewton per meter square. If the external diameter of the column is 300 mm, then determine the internal diameter. First you write down what are the given data from the problem, and here P is 2.1 into 10 raised to 3 kilonewton, that is 2.1 into 10 raised to 3 into 10 raised to 3 newton, because 1 kilonewton is equal to 1 into 10 raised to 3 newton. Therefore the P is, that is the load is 2.1 into 10 raised to 6 newton. And the stress is 125 meganewton per meter square. So 125 into 10 raised to 6, because 1 meganewton is equal to 10 raised to 6 newton, divided by 10 to the power of 6, because 1 meter square is equal to 10 to the power of 6 mm square. So therefore stress is 125 newton per mm square. Or you can directly write sigma equal to 125 meganewton per meter square is equal to 125 newton per mm square, because 1 meganewton is equal to newton per meter square is equal to 1 newton per mm square. And the external diameter is given, the capital D is equal to 300 mm. Now it is required to calculate the internal diameter. To calculate the size of a section, we should know the area of the section. Once the area is calculated, we can calculate the size or the side of a section or the size of a section. Let it small d is the internal diameter of a hollow steel column. We know that stress sigma is equal to P by A. So therefore from this equation we can calculate the cross section area. So therefore A is equal to P by sigma, that is equal to 2.1 into 10 raised to 6 divided by 125, that is equal to 16,800 mm square. As we know the cross-section area of a hollow steel column, that is pi by 4 into capital D square minus small d square, that is equal to 16,800. So therefore capital D square minus small d square is equal to 4 into 16,800 divided by pi. So that gives us 21,387.65. So therefore, small d square is equal to capital D square minus 21,387.65. That is equal to, as the value of external diameter is 300 square, 300. So therefore, 300 square minus 21,387.65, that is 68,612.35. So therefore, internal diameter of a hollow steel column is under root 68,612.35, and that is equal to 262 mm. Next problem. The ultimate stress for a hollow steel column which carries an axial load of 1.9 meganewton is 480 Newton per mm square. If the external diameter of the column is 200 mm, determine the internal diameter. Take factor of safety as 4. Once the ultimate stress is mentioned in the problem, or maximum stress is mentioned in the problem, then definitely a factor of safety will be given in the problem. So therefore, first write down the given data. So the load P is, that is the ultimate stress sigma ultimate is 480 Newton per mm square, and load P is 1.9 meganewton, that is equal to 1.9 10 raised to 6 Newton, as 1 meganewton is equal to 10 to the power of 6 Newton, and external diameter is 200 mm, and factor of safety is given 4. As we know that factor of safety is the ratio of ultimate or the maximum stress to the working or the working or the safe stress. So therefore, factor of safety is equal to ultimate stress by working stress. So therefore, working stress is required to calculate. So therefore, working stress sigma is equal to ultimate stress by factor of safety. You cannot use the ultimate stress directly as sigma. So therefore, once the factor of safety is given in the problem, you should calculate the safe stress or the working stress. So therefore, sigma is equal to 480 by 4. So therefore, 120 Newton per mm square. Once we know the working stress or the safe stress, now we can calculate the cross-section area, as the load is also given and stress is already there. So therefore, cross-section area A is equal to P divided by sigma, that is 1.9 into 10 to the power of 6 divided by 120, that is equal to 15,833.33 mm square. So as we know that the cross-section area of a hollow bar or a hollow column is pi by 4 into capital D square minus small d square, that is external diameter square minus internal diameter square, that is equal to 15,833.33. So therefore, capital D square minus small d square is equal to 4 into 15,833.33 divided by pi. So that will give us 20,157.012. So therefore, substitute the value of external diameter that is given in the problem. Therefore, 200 square minus small d square is equal to 20,157.012. So therefore, d square is equal to 40,000 minus 20,157.012, and therefore d square is 19,842.988, and d is under root 19,842.98, and therefore internal diameter of a hollow column is 140.86 mm. Next problem. A steel bar 2000 mm long, 20 mm wide, 10 mm thick is subjected to a pull of 20 kN in the direction of its length. Then find the changes in length, breadth and thickness. Take E equal to 2 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per mm square and 1 by m is equal to 0.3. First, note down the given data. So length is 2000 mm and breadth B is 20 mm. And thickness T is 10 mm, load P is 20 kN, that is 20 into 10 raised to 3 Newton, and the Young's modulus E is 2 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per mm square, and the Poisson's ratio is 0.3. First, we have to calculate the cross-section area, as the section given in the problem is rectangular section having breadth B 20 mm and thickness T is 10 mm. So therefore, cross-sectional area of a rectangular section is A equal to B into T, that is equal to 20 into 10, that is equal to 200 mm square. Once the area is calculated, now we can calculate the required things. First, change in length. As we know that change in length delta L is equal to PL by AE. So substitute all the values in this equation, as P is 20 into 10 raised to 3 Newton and length is 2000 mm and area is 200 mm square and the Young's modulus is 2 into 10 raised to 5. So therefore change in length delta L is equal to 1 mm. Then second requirement is change in breadth. As we know that change in breadth delta B is equal to 1 by m into E into B, where E is the strain and 1 by m is the Poisson's ratio and B is the width or breadth of the section. Once delta L is there, we can calculate the strain, that is equal to delta L by L, that is delta L is 1 mm, change in length is 1 mm divided by 2000. So therefore strain produced in the bar is 0.0005. So therefore delta B is equal to 1 by m into E into B. Substitute the values of 1 by m, E and B. Then we'll get the change in breadth as 0.003 mm. Next, change in thickness. As we know that delta T is equal to 1 by m into E into T. Now just substitute the value of 1 by m. E already we have calculated as 0.0005 and the value of thickness. So therefore the delta T is equal to 0.0015 mm. The next problem is a bar of steel 1 meter long, 20 mm wide, 10 mm thick is subjected to a tensile load of 10 kN in the direction of its length. Find the changes in its length, in its width, in its thickness, and last one is changes in volume. And the value of E is given. E is equal to 2 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per mm square and the Poisson's ratio is 0.3. Again, have an practice to write down the given data clearly, and then as L is 1 meter, that is equal to 1000 mm and B is 20 mm, T is 10 mm and P is 10 kilonewton, that is equal to 10 into 10 raised to 3 Newton and Young's modulus is 2 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per mm square and the Poisson's ratio is 0.3. So your first duty is to calculate the cross-sectional area as the breadth and thicknesses are given. So therefore cross-sectional area of a section is A is equal to B into T, that is B is 20 mm and T is 10 mm. So therefore 20 into 10 mm into mm square, therefore 200 mm square. Now we'll calculate the changes in length or change in length. As we are very familiar with the equation, delta L is equal to PL by AE. Substitute all the parameters, all the values of the P, L, A and E. Then obtain the value of, get the value of delta L. So therefore after calculating delta L will be 0.25 mm. The next required thing is change in breadth. As you know that delta B is equal to 1 by m into E into B, because Poisson's ratio is the ratio of lateral strain to linear strain. So therefore lateral strain is equal to Poisson's ratio into E. So therefore lateral strain is nothing but delta B by B, that is equal to 1 by m into E. So therefore delta B is equal to 1 by m into E into B. So here Poisson's ratio is there. The value of Poisson's ratio is 0.3 and B is 20 mm and only the unknown parameter is E, small e, that is strain. So once the delta L is there, so we can calculate the strain produced in the bar. Therefore E is equal to delta L by L, that is equal to 0.25 by 1000. Delta L is 0.25 and the original length is 1000 mm. So therefore the value of E is 0.00025. So therefore delta B is equal to 1 by m into E into B. Substitute the value of 1 by m, E and B. So after calculation, the change in breadth will be 0.0015 mm. Similarly, we can calculate the change in thickness. Delta T is equal to 1 by m into E into T. So substitute all the values and calculate delta T as 0.0075 mm. Change in volume. As we know that change in volume for a rectangular section is E into 1 minus 2 by m into V, where V is the original volume. So original volume is calculated by using the relation A into L, that is A is the cross-sectional area of the bar and L is the length of the bar. Therefore 200 into 1000, 200 mm square into 1000 mm is 2 lakh mm cube. So therefore delta V is equal to E into 1 minus 2 by m into V. Substitute the values of E, Poisson's ratio and the original volume, will get delta V as 20 mm cube. For a given material, Young's modulus is 1 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per mm square and modulus of rigidity is 0.4 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per mm square. Find the bulk modulus and lateral contraction of round bar of 50 mm diameter and 2.5 meter long when stretched by 2.5 mm, and the value of Poisson's ratio is 1 by 4. So note down the given data. So Young's modulus E is 1 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per mm square. Modulus of rigidity C is 0.4 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per mm square. And D is 50 mm. And L is 2.5 meter, that is equal to 2500 mm. And delta L is 2.5 mm. And Poisson's ratio 1 by m is equal to 1 by 4, that is equal to 0.25 or m is equal to 4. First calculate the cross-sectional area of a round bar, that is A is equal to pi by 4 into d square, pi by 4 into 50 square, that is 1963.75 mm square. So the bulk modulus is required to calculate. As we know that K is equal to ME divided by 3 into M minus 2. So substitute the value of M as 4 and E as 2 into 10 raised to 5. And after calculation, we will get the value of K as 0.667 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per mm square. In this problem, the modulus of rigidity is given. So that is an extra data. Now the lateral contraction. Lateral contraction is nothing but change in diameter, because when a bar is subjected to tensile load, length is the linear dimension and diameter is going to becoming the lateral dimension. The change in lateral dimension is the lateral contraction. Therefore delta D is equal to 1 by m into E into D. So here 1 by m is given and diameter is there, that is 50 mm. So E is required to calculate. So as the delta L and change in length and the original length are given in the problem, so strain can be calculated. So therefore del E is equal to 2.5 divided by 2500, so that will be 0.001. So therefore delta D is equal to 1 by m into E into D, that is 1 by m is 0.25 into 0.001 as E, and 50 is the diameter of the bar. So therefore delta D is equal to 0.0125 mm. So this is the lateral, this much amount is reduced in the cross section. So we'll have some MCQs. So first question is the relation between Young's modulus E and the modulus of rigidity C is C is equal to ME divided by 2 into M plus 1. C is equal to ME divided by 2 into M plus 2. So C is equal to 2 into M plus 1 by ME, and C equal to ME divided by 3 into M plus 1. If you are repeating and if you are having a revision over the list of formulae, then only you can answer these relations. You should remember the relation between Young's modulus and the modulus of rigidity is, that is C is ME divided by 2 into M plus 1. Therefore the correct answer is A. Next question. The relation between Young's modulus E and the bulk modulus K is, as we know that K is equal to ME divided by 3 into M minus 2. So therefore the correct answer is B. K is equal to ME divided by 3 into M minus 2. Third question, the relation between Young's modulus E, modulus of rigidity C and bulk modulus K. That is the relation between all the three elastic constants. As we know that E is equal to 9 kc divided by 3k plus C is the correct answer. Therefore, answer is B. Fourth problem, the ratio of modulus of rigidity to modulus of elasticity for Poisson's ratio 0.25 would be. The options are 0.5, 0.4, 0.3 or 1. So, as we know the relation between the modulus of rigidity and the modulus of elasticity, as we know that C is equal to ME divided by 2 into M plus 1. So, therefore, ratio of C and E is required. So, therefore, here C by E is equal to M divided by 2 into M plus 1. As Poisson's ratio is 1 by M, that is equal to 0.25, or M is equal to 1 by 0.25, that is equal to 4. So therefore M will be 4. 4 divided by 2 into 4 plus 1, that is equal to 4 divided by 2 into 5, that is equal to 2 by 5, or it is equal to 0.4. The correct answer is B. So you should remember C is equal to ME divided by 2 into M plus 1. So bring that E in the denominator in the left hand side, that is C by E, and the remaining thing in the right side is M divided by 2 into M plus 1. And you should know that Poisson's ratio is 1 by M, that is equal to 0.25. So therefore M is equal to 1 by 0.25. 1 by 0.25 is equal to 4. So therefore value of M will be 4. The ratio of bulk modulus to modulus of elasticity for Poisson's ratio of 0.25 would be, this is similar to the first problem. Here the ratio of bulk modulus to modulus of elasticity is required to calculate. For the same Poisson's ratio of 0.25, Poisson's ratio 1 by M is equal to 0.25, that is nothing but M is equal to 4. And the options are 2 by 3, 1 by 3, 4 by 3 and 1. So as we know that K is equal to ME divided by 3 into M minus 2. So bring that E in the denominator in the left hand side. So therefore K by E is equal to M divided by 3 into M minus 2. So the value of M is 4 for the Poisson's ratio of 0.25. So therefore 4 divided by 3 into 4 minus 2. 4 divided by 3 into 2. Just to see the options and depends on the options just to simplify the answer. So therefore 2 1 are 2 2 are. So therefore 2 by 3 is the correct answer. So the option A is correct. Next question, the ratio of modulus of rigidity to bulk modulus for Poisson's ratio of 0.25 would be 2 by 3, 2 by 5, 3 by 5 and 1. As the Poisson's ratio is 0.25, therefore value of M will be 4, and here the ratio of C by K is asked. So in the fourth problem, you have calculated C by E, and in the fifth problem question, you have calculated K by E. So here, as you know that C by E is 2 by 5. So just to calculate C is equal to C by E and calculate K by E, and then divide C by E with K by E. So therefore C by E whole divided by K by E, that is 2 by 5 whole divided by 2 by 3. So therefore C by E into E by K is equal to 2 by 5 into 3 by 2. So therefore 2 gets cancelled. So the answer is 3 by 5. Therefore C by K is 3 by 5. A rod of length L, diameter D carries an axial load P. The extension of the rod would be pi PL by 4 ED square, 4 PL by pi ED square, pi E PL divided by 4 D square, 4 PEL divided by pi D square. As we know that delta L is equal to PL by AE. For a circular rod, cross-sectional area is pi by 4 into D square. So this 4 will comes in the numerator. So therefore 4 PL divided by pi E D square. So therefore just substitute the value of A as pi by 4 in equation delta L is equal to PL by AE, then the answer will be 4 PL by pi E d square. And the answers for all the MCQs are also given. So this is the end of the fifth session of the unit 1, that is simple stresses and strains, and in the next session we will solve some of the problems on the elastic constants. Thank you.